Oh, look, I'm live again. Back-to-back podcast. I can't believe it. So, I guess I'm hosting this one. So, introduced first, Mr. Adam Ball, one of the co-founders of vNext. And I'm the founder of Commsverse, the same event, but the other side of the Atlantic. So,
community events.
That's it. So,
true community events.
That's it. We're all here, all one team.
Yep.
So, how's your day been?
It's been interesting. So, no, actually, it was really good. Having Juan come in and Juan Rivera from Microsoft come in and do the keynote was just fantastic. Heather did a great job leading into it of why we're here, and then just hearing what Juan had to say about AI and all his 5 takeaways was great. And then just from there, it's riding the wave of being a conference organizer at that point. You're in it, and you're in it to win it, and you just roll with whatever comes at you. And
power cuts and
power cuts, internet issues.
Hey, at least you didn't have a fire alarm evacuation twice.
Are you sure? Because I'm pretty certain the algo guys over there have created at least 3 false alarms. So
I've heard them.
Yes, but we haven't had the real ones. So yes, I thought that was just part of your thing at Commsverse was to have the fire alarm go off. It was part of the community building outside to make sure we all could act as a team.
Well, there's been deals being done on the car parking and evacuations, so it's just all part of the plan.
There you go, exactly.
So what were Juan's 5 takeaways? Because I missed the keynote because of helping you guys out. But
yeah, so there was. I won't be able to name all 5. I apologize because my brain is pretty much mush. But the ones that I thought were really good were, obviously AI first. Just kind of think about it from that perspective. He also talked about making sure you knew what you're trying to achieve. Like, so being metric driven, being business goal oriented, things like that. Oh my gosh, I had one other and then it just escaped me right there.
When you look through the window, it
just went right out the window. But no, it was really interesting as he talked through the engineering components. Like he talked about, whether it was how they can use some of the stuff, like he talked about Athena and some of the things that they're doing internally on their little hackathons to solve their business problems. Was just really neat from that perspective. Something that because I'm not a coder, I'm not a developer by any means, that whole idea of vibe coding and being able to talk to it to get it to do what you want it to do was really impressive. And so for me, I've seen a few things, whether it's Cursor or whatever.
Yep.
But to see that coming into things like Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code and GitHub and all of that, really impressive to see where they're going with that and how it's going to open up the doors for agents in the future. So he talked about a lot of things that went right over my head. It was funny because he talked about SCP, and I'm like, oh, I know SCP, but 2 different things.
File transfer protocol.
Exactly, yeah, secure copy. So I was like, I love how we rebrand TLAs now. So,
well, Microsoft are known for using the same acronym for a few things.
Exactly. So, but no, it was just really interesting to see where Microsoft was heading, and hopefully from the techno. I mean, this is a largely technical background conference. Not that we try to be that, but a lot of the people who are here are from the IT background. So I think a lot of people could take a lot away from that perspective.
And you've gone bigger this year, haven't you? 2 extra session rooms, more speakers.
More speakers. We had 59 total sessions plus the keynote, so 60 total, which is mind-blowing. People can find it on YouTube at vNext on YouTube, and we'll be publishing all of the sessions that we can, which is incredible. But yeah, it's fantastic. And this year, every year feels different, but this year, as I've talked to people, what was actually the most interesting thing out of the keynote was when Heather asked how many people were here for the first time, and about half the room put their hands up, and that was amazing. Really neat. And I keep coming back to the way people get to know about this event is it's not through whatever we do for advertising or
word of mouth.
It's not just word of mouth. It's when somebody else asks you to attend. So literally, if you have attended this event and you tell a colleague, a friend, somebody, and you say, I think you should come to this. I'm going to this. Come with me. Come sit with me, whatever it is. People feel included, they feel invited, and they are more willing to come to an event like this. From that standpoint, we try our best to keep it really affordable so that money's not the barrier. It's really hard to go to Ignite. I mean, I'll just be honest. It's a big investment for
Or the community conferences, right?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. Anytime you're talking about a $2,000 ticket to a conference, that's a barrier to entry. It really is. Not a lot of companies are going to be able to say, hey, I want to send 2, 3, 4, 5 people to the event. Well,
it's a $15,000 investment at that point.
Exactly. I mean, it per person for a 3-day event, if it's $2,000 for the ticket,
another $2,000 for flights and hotel, right?
Exactly. So you're doubling that. So to come into Denver, yeah, you might have to spend $500 to $800 between flight and hotel, but for $1,000 you're over top of it. So you can send 3 or 4 people for the cost of some of those other events. Not to say that those other events don't have value. It's just when you think about what you're getting out of this, it's focused. So you know the technologies that you're going to hear about. You're not showing up going, am I hearing about Azure? Am I hearing about development? What am I hearing about? Ahead of time, like, hey, this is the industry. This is what I'm focused on.
Yep.
And you're going to get that community. One of the things that I've seen today, just sitting at lunch, we actually have a lot of state and local government attendees this time. What's been neat is being able to put them together and say, hey, you should know this person. Why?
Yep.
Well, because they're doing the same job as you over at this other organization.
And they have the same pain points.
And they have the same pain points. And so they're able to really cross-pollinate ideas and say, hey, this is what's working for us versus this is what's not. And everybody's on a different portion of the journey.
Mm-hmm.
Some are further along, some are just starting out. The ones just starting out, when they talk to the ones that are further along, they're like, well, what did you do that you would do differently if you were in my shoes? And they go, oh, I would do this.
That's the whole point of a community conference, right? We learn from each other.
Exactly. And so what's neat is you get businesses that would be considered largely competitors that are talking to each other. You get partners who are competitors that are talking to each other. You get sponsors that are talking to each other that are competitors. And everybody lays that competition aside in order to have community. And that really, it's an amazing, special thing that has nothing to do with me, Josh, Pat, Jonathan, any of us. It's all legitimately because we just bring people together and everybody's here for the same cause.
Yeah. I mean, once you strip back the sales bit of an event and you take away the commercial element, and it's more of an innovation conference than it is anything else, right? Yeah. So I guess if you had to give me 3 reasons, what would be the 3 reasons you think people come to Comms vNext year on year?
So I'm just going to tell you what I hear from people, because that's all I got. One is the community. Number 1 is just the conversations that they get to have. They get to see the people. There's a lot of times people come to this event that they don't see each other except for this time an event. And what's amazing about that is that they show up and it's as if they were long lost relatives. It's like, oh, hey, how's it going? And they haven't seen each other since the last year.
Yep.
They might not have even spoken in the last year, but they see each other and they're like, wow, that was amazing. So first and foremost, that friendship, community, etc. The second thing is the sharing of knowledge. Without trying to date myself at all, one of the coolest parts of me growing up into technology was a lot about discovery of what can a system do, it was more of that old school hacker mentality of, I just want to learn about the system. I just want to probe. I just want to see what it'll tell me, etc. This event has that kind of vibe or feel where it's like, I just want to learn. I'm trying to figure out what the system can do for me. And so when I sit down at lunch and I ask questions of the attendees that I get to sit down with, one of my questions is always like, what have you learned? What's a takeaway? And they always come back with, I don't know, like there's so much. And I'm like, no, just tell me one thing that's stuck out in your mind. It doesn't matter if it's big or small, just something you're taking away right now.
Churros, right?
Yeah, well, besides the churros. So that's, I'll get to that. Don't worry. But yeah, that knowledge component. And then the third thing I get told time and time again is our food. I laugh because I'm like, we do try. We've kind of set the bar pretty high on that, and the place does a great job. And the food. Here's the thing about food, and it doesn't matter that we're here at an event. You can put yourself into any sort of relational component. If you want to go and have a deeper connection with somebody, whether it's your spouse, whether it's friends, whether it's just wherever, go have a meal. Go have coffee. Whatever it is.
The route to love is through your belly.
Exactly. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we provide a spot to go back to number one, how to build community through food. And it is an integral part, whether it's the coffee, I mean, Sammy at the coffee cart,
yep.
Whether it's the snacks, whether it's the meals, whatever it is, how do you mix it up? Everybody's welcome. And so that just leads to a bunch of things. So, but I think kind of like, you asked for three things, but I'm going to give you bonus level is I do think our ability through our sponsors to be able to subsidize the attendees so that they can be here in an affordable way really makes us an appealing event.
Okay. Personal question. Why'd you do it? I mean, it's punishment, right?
I committed a sin somewhere along the way. No, I think for me, like, Jonathan and I got to know each other back in 2011 when he showed up to the user group that I started here in Denver. And the reason why I started it was because I would hear people say, oh, there's lots of people doing that technology. And at the time it was OCS, to date myself. There's lots of people doing that here in the Denver area. And I'm like, I don't know any of them. I felt like I was on an island. And so for me, it was just, if there's these people out there, let's get them together. And so again, that kind of just drives into what we're doing here. And I know Jonathan and Pat and Josh all have that same heart. And we have that mission of how do you bring people together? That's really why. I question the rest of it. A lot of times. I question the having to put through the effort. I mean, it's a lot. I'll just be honest. Like and I know that I don't even know that I put in all the effort that I could, and I watch what Jonathan puts in or Pat puts in, et cetera. And those guys are really detail oriented, and that's not my skill set. I'm a bigger picture person. But yeah, it's just a lot of effort across the board. And I'm just grateful for the fact that we have folks, whether, that are willing to volunteer and put in their time to help build the community. I mean, we're 100% volunteer driven from that perspective. And so it's just amazing the people who come alongside us, because it's not about the four of us. It's really just an amazing group of people. So
yeah, cool. And you got plans for next year?
We're trying to finalize those. So we've got a couple options, and we're trying to figure out which one would be the best for the event and which one would be the best for the attendees ultimately. I will say this, and if anybody's listening and wants to chime in, the thing that I keep thinking about is we've all attended conferences. Just think back to whether the previous Comms vNext, if you've gone to Ignite, you've gone wherever. What makes it special to you? Like, we all do kind of the same thing. Let's just be honest. We kick it off with a keynote. We have sponsors. We have an expo hall. We have a session. Yeah, we have sessions. We have all of that. And I'm kind of left in this conundrum of what can we do, not just to create a more memorable event, but a more valuable event for people. Obviously, the sessions and the knowledge transfer that happens there is the bulk of the value, combined with the ability to have conversations with each other. But I keep coming back to, what would people look at and go, oh, wow, that was amazing. I wish every event did something like that. And so I've just kind of like, I've been noodling on that in my head, and I've been asking people that question of, what can we do better? Something I appreciate from Commsverse that we don't do is your videos. You do some amazing videos with the team.
Oh, now you're going to put me on the spot. I was going to do one this year.
Well, but just some of the stuff, and you have some great help over there, like the whether it's Will, and I know that we have some fun with Will, and so, or you have some fun with Will.
Bless him.
Yes,
he's a good sport.
He is an amazing sport, and I really do enjoy my chats with him when I'm over there. But you guys, whether it's Randy, whether it's Martin, whether it's Will, whether it's Philippa, the whole team over as a whole has just been amazing. But yeah, like, what do we do to try and bring something more? So
yeah, I mean, from my experience, it can be something big to someone, but that big thing could be something so small, or so minor, that you do subconsciously, that makes it more memorable for them. And it can be as simple as, oh, someone brought me a bag into my hotel room and I had all my stuff in. That was great. I didn't have to think about it. And that's what sticks in their mind. I don't think there's a single thing that you need to focus on to double down on. I think it's just attention to detail.
It is, but that's not my skill set. So attention to detail is not my skill set. You can ask almost anybody. They're all like, yeah, no. He sees the big picture really well. He understands how the blocks go together, but ask him, like, what command line, what those things are. No, I have some incredibly smart people around me that do that. So
it's different probably from, like, I created a slightly different brand, I guess. So people say to me, it's all the details that you do, and that's what brings them back. I think it's also the venue is pretty hard to trump.
Your venue is amazing.
And they get something out there that they wouldn't get at a normal event in the UK, right? So where else can you go to a conference, learn about teams and your skill set, talk to all your vendors and meet all your friends, then go around a racetrack?
Exactly.
So
the racetrack definitely helps. I'll be honest. So like,
where's the nearest racetrack here?
That you can do something like that? I don't know. That's a good question. There are some tracks, but nothing like that. And at best, I do know of an exotic car rental that will take you up the mountains, and you can do 300 curves in 30 miles or something like that. 300 turns or something. But they only have like 10 cars, so for a 2-hour trip, we just couldn't push enough people through it. But and it's not that close. With Mercedes-Benz World out there for Commsverse, you guys kind of have it built in from that standpoint, and they do a great job. But like I said, I mean, we both have venues that just do an amazing job. I mean, the people care. I think that's the one thing that when you start doing these events time and time again, especially at venues like, I'm sure Mercedes-Benz World does this for you, but here at this venue, everybody in the hotel, for the most part, knows who we are and knows what we're trying to accomplish, and they're here to help us. And nobody's trying to get, like, nickel and dime you. It's just like, hey, we need this done, or I need this, and they're like, we're here for you.
I mean,
so it's a team effort.
Don't get me wrong. Whenever they send me the invoices, I hate it. But I know that they'll do me a good job, and I know that when I order 500 plates of food, they'll probably do me 750.
Exactly.
And no one goes hungry.
Yeah, nobody goes hungry, and I think that's the important part too. Is nobody should miss out on something. We just want to try to create a spot where nobody misses out. So
Tressler's over there now pulling faces. So
I'm just waiting for him to come pick me up. And
that's to give you a bit of a bear hug. Sasquatch hug. How many minutes? 5. I thought it was over already. I thought this was only 15 minutes. All right. Okay. Well, I guess if we've got 5 minutes left then, thanks, Eric. How would you like to close it? What message would you like to bring to send out to everyone?
I think the same thing that you would want, honestly, because I think you asked me the question of why do you do it, and I think I would return that question back on you from that standpoint, because you never seem to sleep. And
What sleep?
I as I say, I you and I message back and forth at like hours of the day that shouldn't exist for either of us. So from that standpoint, but no, I think for both of us, I'm just kind of making a big assumption here, but we both do it for the love of bringing people together. We do genuinely, much to what my wife would say, you never admit that. We do actually enjoy making people happy. We enjoy bringing people together for that, and we're passionate around what we do. We may be a dying breed in that. You keep trying to bring back facts, I know.
Hey, making facts great again.
Exactly. And so, it's all dying technology, and maybe that's just what we are as dinosaurs in that. But, it's fun. It's great to watch people's eyes light up. Or, like I said, I think the biggest thing is we get to help educate people. We get to help bring people along and make them better. And that's a massive thing.
Yeah, it's huge. I agree with you as well. People ask me the same thing, and it's the biggest pleasure or kick out of Commsverse is sitting on the side, people not knowing I'm there, and just watching their faces and watching them talk and have a good time.
Absolutely.
And that's enough, right? I think it's, I'm only assuming here because, of anything else, but it's a bit like childbirth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a lot of pain, but then you soon forget about it and you want to do it again.
Yep. Yeah, the adrenaline kicks in. You forget all about all the pain.
That's it.
And really, yes, there's definitely been years like that. I think as we get better at it, both being engineers turned conference organizers, let's just be honest, that's not a natural skill set, going from one to the next. But we learn and we learn what needs to be better, how you could improve, those kinds of things. What adds value, what detracts value, and how you make everything better.
Yeah, awesome. So. Well, thank you very much, Adam.
I appreciate it. No, this is always a good chat. I love
great.
chatting with you, man.
I can smell the churros now, so I'm going to get some churros.
That's right. So, churro time.
That's
all right.
it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.